my father had a grocery store here with my mother. And before that, my Aunt Cecil Bricker Lewis and her husband Robert Lewis had a grocery store here. Before that, my grandfather George Ellsworth Bricker, my maternal grandfather, had a general store here and grocery store. And before that, my great-grandfather Cephas Dodd Bricker, C.D. Bricker, had a store here.
And I'd like to say, you know, this isn't my grandfather's dry goods store anymore. He would say something like, my prosperity has finally come to the dry goods business.
Welcome to the Bricker Price block. This project began in the fall of 2016. This project also benefited from the support of the state of Iowa, most notably some historic tax credits that were used. It's thrilling to see another small town take the step to bring back to life a building that otherwise would become a vacant, derelict property. It is now on the list of the National Register of Historic Places. Featured venue here in downtown Earlham, Iowa. If I could ask the Bricker family members to stand.
I can't speak for all of the Bricker descendants. In fact, I don't even know all of the Bricker descendants. Wow, this is really great. This provides tremendous opportunities for the people of Earlham, for the rest of the 21st century and perhaps beyond. But we hope you'll take advantage of these opportunities to enjoy this property and promote your own cultural and social and educational interests here.
Let's give them a round of applause. And I believe Dick is the family designee to share some comments with us.
Sharon, did you find any skeletons in the closet when you did the remodeling?
We found a coal cart, if anyone has any memories of that.
A coal cart. If that's all you found, good. We go by this building and you just wonder what's going to happen to it. You really did. You wonder what's going to happen. And now we know. And I think it's really gone beyond anyone's expectations here. Based on mine anyway, this would ever happen in Earlham. And look at the potential we have here now. And this is going to serve generations, just like this building served 3 or 4 generations in the past. This is going to serve 3 or 4 generations into the future of this town. Again, I think, speaking for the Prices, we say thank you.
Governor Wells, please welcome her. I invite you to come up and make a few remarks for us this afternoon.
Ken and Sharon, I want to just say thank you for asking me to be a part of today's celebration. And I wanted to say welcome to the Bricker Price families for traveling here and being a part of it. I got to meet most of you and I think get a picture taken with most of you and Earlham alum, and it's so great to have you here and to be a part of this celebration. You know, since the first time that I sat down with Sharon and heard about her vision for this incredible project, first of all, I knew it was going to happen. And for all of you that know Sharon, you understand that statement. And I knew from the minute that she started talking about this that I wanted to be here to celebrate the day that that vision became a reality. And it takes leadership in rural communities to bring a dynamic concept to life, and the engagement of hundreds of others to embrace it and get excited about it. And I can just tell everybody feels that they have ownership in what's happening today. And that's when projects are successful. The energy and enthusiasm that you feel just in the building is just going to be replicated throughout the community and throughout the main street. People ask me, what can I do in my community to make it vibrant and continue to see it grow and keep our young people there? I'm going to point to the success story of the Bricker Price Block Project as a great example for other communities to emulate. Woohoo! Keep it going. We'll be back, and thank you for being an inspiration for other communities all across this great state. Keep it up. Thank you.
Good to see you. I didn't realize you were the price side of this building. I remember my
that's what
dad
Howard's got to
said
do.
something about price, but it's what they George, Sherry
I am he. Oh, you knew me as Denny.
I know, I've been real confused when I read the
Well,
paper.
my name is George Dennis Byrne. I went by Denny until I got out of high school, I think.
all the Brickers lived here, you know, over the years, 80 years. Brickers lived and worked stores there. It's a long time.
My grandfather. Boy, he looks so much like his dad.
Yeah.
Bill. And Bill was my first cousin. Nick's grandfather and my dad were brothers. His dad, I think, was a William F. Price. Bill was a William C. Price. Uncle Bill was a William C. Price. And cousin Bill was a William
Crazy
C.
because
Price, and then they came on Nick. Really get connected, you know, if you live some small area for a long time.
yeah,
When my grandfather Bricker died, he owned stock in the Bank of Earlham, and it closed. And the limited liability law was not enforced, and so the stockholders were liable for bank debt. That's how my grandmother lost these properties. So then they auctioned them off, and both the store and the house were bought by grandchildren of C.D. Bricker. So a lot of Brickers lived here on this side upstairs.
Yeah.
It was a 10-room apartment up here. In the real old days, there was a law office up here,
wow.
and I don't know what else. And then my grandfather built that side, you know, and Brickers occupied it for 50 years. 80 years.
Because it's 120 years old.
Yeah, for 80 years they were operating businesses and lived upstairs and everything.
Oh, I tell you, well, this is from Washington, D.C. and Wisconsin.
How do you do?
And they're Bricker descendants that lived on the
We had very pleasant time.
Yes, there's a lot of Price family that lives in town. Like, we're the only one.
Never going to have a picture with the governor. We had a Governor Bricker and I.
His father Ben Price. And their father Nick Price.
Hi, Mary Nelson, in the area. So, yay! All of us live in the area. Yes. So we have two daughters and they're our son-in-laws and children.
Ben and I, this is more Montrose.
Is this where Montrose used to be?
Yeah, tell the roof knows it. And they moved out.
We have a Montrose in St. Charles.
This is done. And then they're all Price family members as well.
So very nice.
Do you have a phone, Kathleen?
Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
But to thank all of those people, we have created a donor wall that Dusty and Connie will unveil for us. One of the features that you will see in that donor wall is a section that's exposed to the wall studs. And when the construction was underway, they discovered the original signature on the inside of the wall there. So that's been left as an opening with the plexiglass over the front of it and lighted as a continuing tribute to the men who built this building. So please stop by, take a look at that later this afternoon.
When I was in high school, my dad had the grocery store here, my dad and mom.
I have a lot of remembrances of Earlham. I grew up here, born and raised, and my parents, Carl Bricker and Doris Bricker, lived here most of their lives. My dad worked in this store when he was a kid. His dad, C.D. Bricker, had the store, and the whole family worked here. Then when he graduated from the Earlham Academy, he told his dad he wanted to farm. So he went to the family farm in Penn Township to farm, and he didn't work in this store after that. However, later on, he moved back to town, and he had a grocery store down the street. It was a mom and pop type store, and they ran that store until about 1941 in competition with the other brickers that had stores here. And he sold the store then to Denny and Terry's parents, Al and Mary Byrne.
Yep.
And then they had to move out of the Hunter building down here after Robert and Cecil left. Robert and Cecil Bricker Lewis was the first cousin. They had run the store after George Bricker, as George said. And so they moved into this building, and Brickers occupied this building, I would say, close to 80 years. Living upstairs, different relatives living upstairs. I remember walking up that long flight of stairs, and I have a lot of memories of this building, and I am totally thrilled to see that this building has been saved. A couple years ago, I brought my grandchildren and great-grandchildren here, and we took a picture in front, and it was closed up, and it was pretty sad looking, and I never dreamed that 2 years later we'd see this marvelous renovation.
Hi, I'm Terry Byrne. I'm George's younger brother. My earliest memories of this building go back to the late 1930s when I was a very young child, preschooler. My aunt and uncle, the Lewises, Robert and Cecil Lewis, ran the store here, R.J. Lewis Groceries and Dry Goods, and they lived upstairs. Well, the Lewises had no children of their own, so they gave George and me a lot of attention. And we spent a lot of time here. Moreover, before my parents bought the Carl Bricker store, my father worked in the Bricker store, the Lewis store, excuse me. We had many good times in this building, and I have many early associations with it. As for remembering climbing the long stairs, I lived up there. I climbed a lot more times than Howard did.
Walter J. Price, whose name is on the wall upstairs, is my grandfather, but I never knew him because he passed away before I came around. And he was Walter J. Price. My father was Walter R. Price, and a brother to
My
his
grandfather, William Ford Price.
And we do have a connection. Terry and I went to school together and graduated in the same class. But as far as how the history of the building evolved, I don't really know much.
It was hard to get stories handed down because her father passed away when she was 12. So we didn't have a whole lot on our side to have that. So it's been really great that Sharon has pulled all this together.
I was always aware that the family had put up the building, and my grandfather ran a store called W.F. Price and Company here, dry goods store. But other than that, I always knew my grandfather as a farmer.
Yeah.
You know, he came out to the farm in, I think in 30, it was in the 30s somewhere. The story I get was that my grandmother's father-in-law was a director in the bank. The bank got in trouble. He had to go back to work in the 30s, and that's when my grandfather went out to help operate the farm. That's a story that I think I know. And that's what I was asking. When did they close that store? When did W.F. Price and Company come to an end? And I can't get that answer yet.
But you're never there anymore. And so back to my room. And there in the room I cry. Tears of goodbye. Till you come back to me. That's the way this will be. Just a day in the life of a fool.
I am absolutely awed by what Sharon Krause has done here. So would you please join me in giving her a big round of applause? And I'll leave this one additional thought. When I came here yesterday and walked into this building, Sharon was mopping the floor to get ready for you people. So I hope you appreciate it.
Although the big case sat out about here, and the portrait block was back against the wall.
Is there like a room or? To answer your question, David, actually listen.
Let's lift our glasses to the energetic team who, 118 years later, put in the energy, the dedication, the time, the talent to restore this great feature, to create what we see here today. Let's raise our glasses to the future success of the Bricker Price block. Well, that concludes our program for this afternoon.
We'll talk to you later. Thank you.